talking about just raising your standards. I mean, I always tell people, if you want to know how to change your life, I give it to you in 3 words, boring as it sounds: raise your standards. What does that mean? Corny as it sounds. Raise your standards. Well, thank you for the breakthrough thought, Tony. I'm glad I wasted my time watching this little email with you. But think about it. Lasting change is different than a goal. You don't always get your goals, but you always get your standards. Maybe to help you is to think about it this way. I try to explain standards to people with a different set of words. Think of it as everybody in life gets their musts. They don't get their shoulds. Right? Think about it. Most people have a list of shoulds, don't they? Don't you have a list of the shoulds, things you should do, you should follow through on? I should lose some weight, I should work out more, I should make more calls, I should respond more rapidly to my email, whatever, I should get into the office earlier, I should be, more confident, whatever your should list is. People love to have their should list be met, but it's kind of like New Year's resolutions. If it does, it's really exciting, but if it doesn't, which is most of the time, it's a little disappointing, but you
Let's go. Good morning, family. Rise and shine. Another blessed and grateful day coming into the end of this week. We've got so much amazing, so much momentum happening right now, and this is just the beginning. So before we go ahead and dive into, as you guys can see, I've got a great topic for everybody today. We're going to be diving into a little bit about core values. So before we go ahead and dive in, let me go ahead and get live on IG. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So as I go ahead and get ready, let's drop a little bit of gratitude down below. What is everybody grateful for coming into the Thursday? Drop it down and let me know. We're going to dive in. Okay. Awesome. So family, I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful for God. I'm grateful for the mind, for the body, for the spirit. I'm grateful for the information, for the value. Honestly, that the access that we all have, right? So many of us, I don't know if you realize this, but for some of the mentors, some of the education that we have right at our fingertips, people pay $10,000, $15,000 just for an hour to listen to some of these individuals speak. So what is that we have right here to go ahead and implement and learn from every day? To be honest, I can't say anything else, but it is absolutely priceless. So blessed and grateful is an understatement, but with no further ado, let's go ahead and get into today's topic on how to go ahead and identify your core values. Shane and Talene in the building, Lady Boss Nikki, I love it. So here we go. I've got 7 simple steps for everybody on here to go ahead and really apply to identify these 7 core values, so you guys can really go ahead and figure this out for yourself. Because here's the deal, right? As we go through this training, everybody's values are going to be different, right? People are going to have different visions, different passions. So at the end of the day, as we build these, it's going to be specifically tailored towards you. So this is huge, but if you can really understand this, it's going to change the game. You ready? So here we go, family. I've got 7 ways to go ahead and identify your values. Number 1, the first step to help you discover these, okay, and start living in alignment with your dreams, right, and with your values. First thing is, let's take some time to reflect on some life experiences, right? I want you to just role play with me for a second. All right, think about this, okay? Delve into moments of your life, right, when you felt most alive, you felt most happy, you felt really fulfilled. And I want to ask you this question, right? With all of that, what values were you living out of during those moments, and what was really important to you? What values were you living out in the moment, and what was really important to you at that time, right? So if you guys want to go ahead and just think about it, drop down below, go back in time, and let me know some experiences in your life that you can think about where you were able to go ahead and identify what your core values were at this moment. I'll give you an idea, right? For me, when I was graduating college, a couple months before I finished, we actually had a physique show, right? And I'll never forget, I had so many things going on at one time. I was living out of my car. I was $30K in debt. I just found out my sister passed from cancer, and it was crazy, right? We actually had a physique bodybuilding show inside of my college, right? So this was one of my most happiest moments. I ended up literally competing. I had trained for months, and I ended up winning the competition for the physique show. But I'll never forget it, right? Even though I was going through so much turmoil in my life, I knew that just going back and looking at it, I identified core values. I knew that I could become something that more than what I could see in the mirror, somebody that was broken, somebody that couldn't see the value in myself. So I want you to go back and role play a couple different times in your life where you've been able to identify where you gave yourself core values and you just might not even have noticed it, right? I knew I had to get up early. I knew I had to change my diet. I knew how to change what it is that I was listening to. So over the course of our life, we've all done this multiple times, but when you can be intentional with it and really learn what started that catalyst, this is where the magic begins, right? So let's keep it moving. Number 2, the second tip that I can go ahead and give everybody to start identifying and living in their purpose. You ready? Reflect on your unique strengths, talents, and natural abilities. What values do they reflect? What is most important to you when you are utilizing these strengths, right? I'll go ahead and touch that one again. Reflect on your unique strengths, talents, and natural abilities. What values do they reflect, and what is most important to you when you're utilizing these strengths, right? So for you guys, what do you do naturally that you don't even have to think about, that you just go out and do? Sean says it all the time. He says, we do things naturally that some people wish they could do half as well as us. Guess what? We can be getting paid a lot of money for this, right? So are you great at speaking? Are you great at creating relationships? Are you super creative? Are you great at branding? Are you great at putting ideas together? Are you phenomenal at working with the team and using each other's strengths? It takes time to identify what are you truly good at? What are you flourishing at? And here's the deal. Whatever we're weak at, guess what? This is why we have a team. This is why we're able to go ahead and learn and bounce ideas off each other, because guess what? Your weakness might actually be somebody else's strength. And all it takes is asking a couple questions to go ahead and learn from each other. I saw in the e-commerce chat this morning, somebody just got a couple sales, and there was somebody that was new. They haven't had any sales yet. So guess what they did? They went out and they reached out and asked a question to see what is that they were doing, because guess what? That store, what they were building, happened to be their strength. So they're able to go ahead and learn and pick their brain. And guess what? Now somebody's weakness was able to actually go ahead and turn into their strength because they were able to ask questions. And this is how we're able to grow in all different areas, not only by identifying what it is that we're good at, but also the other side, being able to learn from others, right? So this is big. So that's number 2. Number 3, the third step that I can give everybody to go ahead and really dive into create these core values. And this is coming not from me. This is coming from some of the top 1% earners inside of the game. Okay, so I didn't just make this up. I didn't make up these 7. This is all coming from the top 1%ers. Okay, so number 3, identify your priorities. Okay, number 3, take a closer look at your current priorities in life. What values are driving those priorities, and what matters most to you in life right now? I love that. You know, there was a training that we did a little while ago where we were talking about really looking at a couple different things. But the main one when it comes to getting into this topic is right here. So when we're asking this question, when we're identifying priorities, if you were to just draw this out on your piece of paper, okay? If you were to draw your purpose, priorities, actions, and then results, this is where life starts to shift, right? When we start identifying what our purpose is, the priorities start to get in line, right? The purpose, when you start knowing what we're doing is bigger than all of us, we start taking what we're eating and drinking a little bit more seriously, what we're listening to, who we're hanging out with, because now we start getting aligned with our purpose, and we start saying yes to a lot more things and no to a lot more that are not benefiting us or giving us any value. So my third question is for everybody is, when we look at our current priorities, what is driving these priorities, right? Do we have a priority to really take care of our health, to get on these Zoom calls every day, to be a person to take notes and actually implement what it is that we're learning? Or are we just getting on to get on? Are we just hopping in the Telegram once a day just to see what's in there? No good mornings, no energy, no hopping on any calls, right? And I love the quote that Todd just dropped right there in that interview. He said, the issue is not that people don't have time. The issue is people don't value the priority enough to make time for it. And that was big because that was me. I used to always make so many excuses on why I couldn't show up on calls, why I couldn't plug in, why life seemed like there was so much that was happening to me. But you know what I realized? Some people tell me all the time, well, D, you'll never understand the life I'm going through. I have so much that's happening in my life right now. It's overwhelming. I don't know if I can make it happen. If there's one thing I could tell you, family, one huge nugget for number 3, the fact is that nobody's story is special. As real raw, honest as that is, it's the truth. Nobody's story is special. Here's the difference. You are special, right? You're special. You guys just heard it. If you guys just listened to Todd's call just now, he was selling drugs, right? He was literally dealing illegal card games up in the top penthouses over there on the other coast. But now you can look at it years later, he's been able to completely transform his life. Why? Because the priorities started to shift, right? The value started to change. So the same thing goes with our life. As we start to get aligned, everything starts to shift. I used to get up really late. I wasn't good at taking notes. I wasn't someone who would take the time to read books. I wasn't anybody who used to invest in myself. I was so used to spending money on everything else. That wasn't me until I changed my priorities, until I started aligning with my purpose. When my purpose got written down and I started to become clear, every one of my priorities started to change. Who I was hanging out with, what I was listening to, what I was reading, the notes that I took, how early I got up in the morning, going to the gym multiple times a day, be very intentional about what is going inside of the body. All of these little things started to change because of the priorities. Okay, so this is big. So number 4, the 4th tip to go ahead and really align our core values to see what it is that they are for you specifically. The 4th question is going to be examining our beliefs. So here's the rundown for beliefs. It says your beliefs can offer profound insights into your core values. What do you believe in with a passion, and what are your unwavering convictions? I love this. You see, these are the questions that allow us to really think. This is why we say 1% of people think, 2% of people think they think, 98% of people don't think at all. So what we're doing today is we're really getting the gears turning so you can identify which ones really make sense for you. So here's number 4. Ready? Your beliefs can offer profound insights into your core values. What do you believe in with a passion? So as I started to grow, right, here's the truth, right? I wasn't necessarily very passionate about learning how to trade. But you know what I was passionate about? Being able to have time freedom, being able to have my money work for me, being able to be anywhere with Wi-Fi and have my money be able to multiply. That was something that truly fired me up. That was something that I really started to develop a serious passion for. So as I started to dive in, family, I was not big on studying. I told you I was not big on taking notes, but I started to realize something. What it is that we're learning here, we're not studying for a test. We're not studying for a grade. We're taking skill sets with us for life. So it was worth it to me to really be able to get on every day, intentionally getting on Zoom calls, calling my mentor, asking questions, because I knew without a shadow of a doubt, if they never graduated college, if some of them never made more than $12 an hour, there's no way that they can go out and achieve this amount of success, and we can't do it as well. There's no way. The only difference for most of us is just time. Okay? So number 4, what beliefs have a profound effect on your core values, and what do you believe in with the passion? Okay? Number 5, let's keep moving. Review your actions. Okay? So for me, Zoom calls is great. Reading books is phenomenal. I love to take notes, but at the same time, I'm a very action-orientated individual. Okay? So number 5 is going to be take stock of how you spend your time, how we spend our money, and how we actually go ahead and spend our energy. What values are we living out through our actions, and how do your actions align with our beliefs and priorities? You see, if we really started to get these on paper and we knew exactly what our actions were, what our beliefs were, what our priorities were, guess what starts to happen with all 3 of those things? All 3 of those are going to shift. The way we spend our time, the way we spend our money, and the way we spend our energy all start to shift when we start living through our actions and we start aligning our beliefs with our priorities. This is exactly what I'm talking about. And for all of you, the Dream Team, you've already started to experience this. being able to get up early, the 5 a.m. For those of you that are diving in the 5 a.m. club, getting down the journaling, the manifesting, the visualizations, plugging in daily on these calls, right? All of these is proving, dropping the OTCs, dropping the good mornings. All of these is proving that your actions are aligned with your priorities and your beliefs. But you see, here's how I know if they're not aligned, okay? If you're not posting on social media, right? And you told me you're ready to go ahead and put yourself out there and build a brand. If you're not actually showing up, if you're not asking questions, if you're not going to events, if you're not investing back into yourself. You see, all of these things was levels that I had to go through as well. I wasn't investing back into myself. I wasn't really present on the calls. I wasn't journaling. I wasn't meditating, right? I wasn't doing all of these things. And guess what that did? That just showed myself as time went by that my actions weren't really aligned with my beliefs and priorities. You see, if you believe in yourself, if you know what you bring to the table, we're not going to be afraid to use our voice. We're not going to be afraid to speak because we know the value that we have and we know the purity that's in our hearts. Feel me? I stopped worrying about people's opinions a long time ago, right? If their opinion is negative on what it is that we're doing, and we're not willing to switch bank accounts, we're not willing to switch lifestyles with them, their opinion should be irrelevant. But this is something that took time to be able to learn. So when I started getting aligned with actions, the results started to follow, but it takes time. You see, entrepreneurship has a jet lag effect. You might start diving in and doing the deep work, but you're not going to see the results right away. This is the difference between a job and being an entrepreneur. You see, at a job, whenever you go do the work, you get paid right away. But as an entrepreneur, there's a jet lag effect. It takes a little bit of time. You see, what we're doing today, the work that we do today, guess what? Everything that we're doing today, it's not going to show up until 90 days. It's not going to show up till towards the summertime. So let me be the first to tell you, even though we have the beliefs, priorities, we're putting the actions, don't worry about the immediate result today. Because the law of gestation is real. There's no such thing as planting a seed and seeing the fruit come up the next day. Great things take time. So to put it in perspective, we're going to be in the macro, we're going to be patient. But in the micro, we're very aggressive in the day-to-day lifestyle, okay? So that's big. Next, I got a couple more for you. I got 2 more for you. Stick with me. Number 6 is going to be prioritizing your values, okay? Once you have identified a list of potential values, you prioritize them based on what's important to you. This will help you identify your highest values and ensure that you are living in alignment with them. So what I'm going to do at the end of this call, I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to drop a list. I'm going to drop a list of about 40 to 50 values. In my homework for everybody getting off of today's call, I would encourage you to go through and go circle the top 10 that relate to you most, that you can truly resonate with, and allow those values to go ahead and be absorbed into you. So you can go out and implement that. Be a person to go ahead and showcase these core values, because this is what I know. If we stand for nothing, we fall for anything. So there's a reason why today I'm taking the time to make sure that everybody understands how important these core values are. Okay. So that's number 6, to identify these core values. And at the end of it, you're going to go ahead and we're going to do this together. We're going to go ahead and circle these top 10 that resonate with us most. So last one, but not least, number 7, my 7th simple tip to go ahead and put this all together. Finally, test your values to ensure that they are truly your own and not simply societal norms or expectations, okay? Ask yourself, would I still hold this value if nobody else cared about it? And this is when you truly start to identify your truth, what you stand for, what you're here to do, and what your last name sticks out every day, right? What it is that you're willing to go ahead and display when somebody comes on your page and they were to go ahead and give you 3 things that this individual stands for. Lady Boss Nikki, she's a hustler. Fran, she's growing. She's working on herself every day. Shane and Talina, they're constantly developing themselves. What are some of your core values? Deanne's hitting the gym like an absolute, like a savage on a daily basis, right? So what are your core values and what are individuals going to be able to remember you by, right? So this is big. So this is my 7 tips on how to go ahead and identify your core values. So I told you guys I had a gift. I had some homework for everybody to go ahead and implement at the end. So let me go ahead and give it to you. You ready? Let me drop this in the Telegram so everybody can see it. IG, give me a second. All right, here we go. And I want to actually do this on the call. So I just dropped it in the chat so everybody can go look. And I want you to go ahead and take some time, look at these core values, and I want you to, even just real quick, if you guys can take 3 to 5 of these and go ahead and just drop them down. Drop them in the comments and let me know which one of these stick out to you guys the most. Creativity, wisdom, respect, open-mindedness, diversity, selflessness, leadership, focus, teamwork, beauty, health, adaptability, fairness, curiosity, perseverance, service, loyalty, empathy, independence, compassion, right? All of the, I just gave you guys so many core values to really go ahead and take the time and do just what number 7 says. Figure out which ones resonate with you most that you would like to truly stand for. So, family, with that being said, that is my training for everybody today. I love that. Leadership, innovate, authenticity, courage. Let's go. I love it. So, family, that's my homework today. Take some time to really identify your last name and figure out what core values are going to go ahead and stand behind that name. Because I'm telling you right now, if you look at some of the biggest brands that exist, Rolls-Royce, Wells Fargo, Henry Ford, it started with the last name, and every one of those had core values. Anybody that's great, anybody that you see on TV, anybody that you see that's a superstar athlete, that's supernatural in their field, I can promise you without a shadow of a doubt, they have identified their core values. So, family, with that being said, that's my training for everybody today. I'm excited for you guys to go ahead and sit down and figure out which ones best fit you. Drop them in the dream team. Let me know your core values so we can all really start seeing these together. And you're gonna start to really and start to see individuals in a whole different light, because you're gonna start to see their real truth, their real power that they really stand for. So, family, that's my training for everybody today. If you got any type of value, go ahead and drop some 3s down below. Smash that like button if nobody told you today. Family, I'm proud of you. I appreciate you. I'm so grateful for you. This is a huge month, March Madness, setting up what is to come these next 90 days. So, family, I love you. Go out and be great. It is your favorite entrepreneur, Define Dreams. Remember, you can be, do, and have anything that you can hold in your mind. You can hold it right here in your hand. I love you, fam. Have a great day. Go out and dominate. Dream team. Let's get to work. It's game time. Let's go.